When I met David Miller, I was 24 years old. He was a mentor to me at Premier Nutraceuticals. I was a young kid, hungry, literally and figuratively. I was trying to make a name for myself. David taught me to think big and to always push the envelope, try to be great at things. And how do you make change? By realizing what is needed and trying to create a solution. Well, now, in the Coachella Valley, he has ideas on how to make change and how to impact the community. And you do that through faith, family, and attending to details and providing things that people need.
As a child who grew up without a father at home, I think I've always been a protector. And I think that started with my Italian mom and my sister, and somehow that's grown to include my friends, my family, definitely our football team, a nonprofit sports ministry, and the congregation that I serve at the Bridge Calvary Chapel as the youth pastor.
When I joined the SoCal Coyotes in 2014, Coach Miller told me a story that stays with me to this day. He said, when he joined the team on the first day of practice with a ragtag bunch of Coyotes in 2012, one of those players came up to him, looked him straight in the eye, and said, "Coach, don't leave us. Coach, don't leave us." Well, here we are, 9 years later, 6 championships later, and 50,000 students and youth impacted every year by those same SoCal Coyotes through our Above the Line Leadership Training Program. And that's not by accident. And I can say this confidently, after 26 years of Army service and 7 years of coaching here, the opposite of smash mouth football is what Coach Miller and our whole staff bring to the Coyotes and to our communities. The opposite of smash mouth football is love, delivered to the Coyotes, by the Coyotes, and soon to be at the Shield. Coach's vision, the stadium, the medical complex, where we will all play to win, to live, to mentor, and to love. Coach Miller will see to that.
Years ago, when I made a long shot leap to try to write for a national magazine, sport magazine in New York City, I was just 19 years old at the time and living in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And my colleagues at the local newspaper where I worked, they laughed at my dreams. And it felt like they were laughing at me. And I can remember that criticism to this day, but it drove me. And it got me hired at Sport Magazine. It propelled me to write 13 cover stories during my tenure there. I had the opportunity to interview legends like Dan Marino and John Elway, Joe Montana, legendary coaches like June Jones, Mouse Davis, even desert resident and Super Bowl champion Tom Flores of the Oakland Raiders. And those interviews changed my life. And I learned how much that these leaders actually gave to others, which kind of brings me to this evening and to this honor, and to even be in the same room, the same venue with so many others that I look up to here in the Coachella Valley. And to share one more lesson, along with my deep heartfelt thanks to Angel Light Academy and all those leaders, is the lesson that we hear so much in the philanthropic community about the powerful impacts of generous donors. And I think that sometimes we may think of those donors as investors, because they're investors in our larger neighborhood. And looking back through my life, from that little boy at Sport Magazine, little boy living at home, to the kid that made it to Sport Magazine, to becoming a football coach and making it to the Hall of Fame myself, I think that there's one consistent lesson, and that is if we can stay mindful of the humility, if we can stay mindful of the grace that God has given us, the power will always come, and it will always come in the moment that we're giving to someone else. It will never come when we're taking, it will only come when we're giving. The humility, the grace, and the power are all connected in the gifts that we give to others. And that power, I think it doubles, it triples, it seems to me, when we're putting other people first, when we're putting children first. And I'll tell you what, I've learned not just as a player, not just a coach, not just as a husband, not just as a father, not just as a man, but I've learned that when we come together as a community, when we can come together with humility, we have great power in one another and those gifts that we share with each other.